circumstances of being a clear goal-scoring opportunity, the Falkirk player should have been red carded.
Well, I'm looking at Tam McManus. Tam, you seem to be in agreement with that.
Oh, absolutely agree, 100%. David McCracken got away with one in the first leg as well, where he was playing volleyball in the box. And the second leg, obviously, it's a clear opportunity. It's a clear goal-scoring opportunity. He didn't even get booked. I mean, how can you? I mean, unbelievable decision.
The funny thing about that is they're changing that rule next season. They've not brought it in now, so it shouldn't have had absolutely no effect just now. Of course it shouldn't, but they are changing that rule for next season, so it would be a valid decision next season. But yeah, absolutely right to flag it up for this one now.
Well, in the circumstances, it being such an important game, it means that Falkirk played the rest of the game with an extra player.
Yeah, but listen, Dougie, I agree with you. But you know, these things are I'm not going to say they're balanced out over the course of the season, because we're into a playoff and these are hugely important, you know, specific one-off or two-headed affairs. But the bottom line is, Hibs can't sit there blaming refereeing decisions for the position that they're in.
No, but I can, and
but Hibs got themselves into third place. You know, when they should have achieved second place.
But we're talking about a clear breach of the rules and an invalid decision by having a man.
So what would you have it replayed?
Yes.
You would.
Well, Peter Houston said these things balance themselves out, didn't he, Tam?
He did say that, but it didn't balance himself over the two playoff legs, because, you know, listen, I'm no sour grapes at all. Well played Falkirk, they've done well, and I can say deservedly got through. I thought Hibs were the better side, and decisions went against Hibs in both games. Big decisions at big points in the game, and if the referees do their job properly, as the caller's saying there, then it could be different. It should have been a red card, it should have been a penalty in the first leg, but
and
it didn't happen.
The referee should be punished too.
Yes, absolutely. The referee should be punished.
But then, of course, you never know what's going to happen in a game. Even if, okay, the odds would have been in Hibs' favour at that point, but you don't know what's going to happen in the game after that. And 10 men have beaten 11 before, and all the rest of it. I mean, I think it's easy. Maybe it's easier for Dougie to accept this point that these mistakes happen in games. The mistakes happen from players. They happen from match officials. It's part of the drama of the game. It's part of the uncertainty about the game.
But this was a huge game, and there was thousands of people saw the incident. It's not as if it was something that the referee's attention was distracted.
A referee's never going to get every decision right.
Well, there was no decision made, that's what I'm saying. He didn't decide.
No, he didn't. He didn't give him a yellow card or a red card, so you're right, he didn't make any decision. He gave the penalty, and then he just went, this is a penalty. So it's a foul in the box, clear goal-scoring opportunity. By the letter of the law, it's a red card, and he didn't do his job properly.
Do you want it replayed as well?
No, maybe.
No, I don't start the campaign here.
Well, listen, Dougie, thanks very much for the call. In terms of referees, for big decisions that went against you, Tam, did any referee after the game ever apologise for it? Is that commonplace?
No. You'd have a little. I can remember actually, I was at Hibs, we played Rangers at Ibrox, and just before half time, ball got played in the box, and Bert Conterman went up and blatantly handballed it. Bobby Wilson was the manager at Hibs. So, we lost the game 2-1, and we came in after it, and somebody showed Bobby the incident, and Bobby, he stormed into the referee's room, had a right go at him, had a go in the papers and everything, but there's nothing, the decision's been made, it's not going to get changed. But you just have to hope, as you're a manager or a coach or a fan or anybody, that referees get the big decisions right. They're not going to get every decision right, nobody's perfect, but the big decisions, get them right. And the referees over the two games, I thought, didn't for Hibs.
Well, that's why it's a good idea that we're talking about helping them with bringing in video refereeing.
Yep.
And anything that can be done to get a higher percentage of these crucial decisions correct has to be done. I've never understood why there's been this reluctance to bring in technology, because the more help the referees get, the better.
Right, well, let's hear from fans on this tonight. Thanks to Dougie for the call. 0500 92 95 00. Some Kilmarnock fans getting in touch. We'll talk about them. Also, a few people lots of people actually getting in touch talking about Joey Barton. We'll get that in just a minute. But let's hear from the new Dundee United manager, Ray McKinnon, who held his first media conference earlier today since taking over at Tannadice last week.
I think there's a big task. This is a very, very big club, and it's my task to rebuild them and take them back to the Premier League. And I'm under no illusions the task ahead, but it's certainly a job that I'm really, really excited about.
What about, you need players to be a success? There's not too many here at the moment, is there?
Well, as I said, that's my job, to try and put a team together, rebuild this club, and make sure we have a team on that part the fans can be really proud of. So we'll take stock of what the situation is player-wise, and we'll take it from there.
You know the Championship well, of course, given your time at Wraith Rovers last season. How good a league is it, and what lies ahead for United?
Well, it's a very good league. There's a lot of very, very good teams in the league, and it's been proven this year with some of the performances by the teams against Premier League teams. You can see how difficult this league is to get out. You can just look at the stats, and you see the Rangers took 2 years to get out. Hibernian are still in this league this season. St Mirren come down and finished 7th or 8th. It's a very, very competitive league, and but we know the task ahead of us. But let's hopefully we can get a really good team on this park and give it everything we've got. How
much was your love for the club? Was that a tug on yourself in making your decision?
Well, it's no secret that I'm a United fan, but I made this decision with my head this time. It could have been quite easily to rule with my heart, but we took our time, we looked at it. But this is a fantastic club. It's a fantastic opportunity for me, and as I said, I'm absolutely delighted to be the manager.
There seems to be a bit of turmoil between the supporters and a bit of a break between supporters and the club at the moment. How do you bridge that gap?
Quite simple. We got a team on that park that the fans can be proud of, and that's my job, and I'll be giving it everything to do that. And the fans here are brilliant. I know the fans, and we've got a fantastic fan base, and hopefully we'll get them coming out in numbers, because I know they will. They'll come and support their team. They're fantastic fans. So it's my job to get a team on that park that they can be proud of.
Right, Ray McKinnon there, Richard, talking a good game. How big a job has he got on his hands?
Oh, it's a huge job, Kenny. I mean, he's got to sift through that squad. I think there's maybe 4, 5, 6 players who have been told they definitely have a future at Tannadice. There are others that he will want to speak to. They need to get the budget down. He needs to build a team that's good enough to go up this season. It's a really difficult job, particularly because it's against the backdrop of turmoil. The support want a change in the boardroom. They want Stephen Thompson to go. Dundee United, or just Stephen Thompson's doing everything he can to try and win them back over. It's a very difficult situation at Tannadice at the moment. Ray McKinnon, a lifelong Dundee United fan, a native of the city, dropped right into the middle of that. He's got to build a team, but it's in a very trying circumstances that he's got to do that. And a little bit like Hibs, Dundee United might be able to survive 1, possibly 2, an absolute push seasons in the Championship, but any longer than that and it starts to become really difficult to rebuild the club to what it was before.
Lee Gordon on Twitter: will Keith admit that Dave King has stepped up if these signings are confirmed in the next few days? Have you been questioning Mr. King?
Yes, I have, and I've probably been fairly cynical towards a lot of the claims, because there's been so many contradictions and so many things that Dave King has said. That's what I said earlier. I was looking at this summer and I'm thinking, I wonder, it'll be fascinating to see the level of investment and the level of players that Rangers are trying to recruit. And I'll put my hands up and say credit to them for Rossiter. I think that looks like a tremendous bit of business. Although, as Richard rightly says, I'm sure that's one that they will stand to make a considerable amount of money from if the player is anywhere near reaching his potential in Scotland. But yes, if they go on to sign players such as, because I'm not, who knows what Joey Barton will decide. He could change his mind at the 11th hour. So the strong suggestions I'm hearing is that he's very, very close indeed to saying yes. And Cranshaw's another. These are players of considerable ability, and I have to accept that I wasn't sure that Rangers would be at that end of the market. Let's see if they get them done. But certainly you would have to say credit to Rangers and Dave King's regime for upping the ante this considerably. It's more than I think many people, myself included, expected.
Yeah.
I was just going to quickly make the point that I think it's also important from the Rangers board perspective, okay, the Barton one has come out. They did the Rossiter deal pretty quietly. He signed, that was fine. Joey Barton's pictured at Auchenhowie. He's pictured out in the town. Suddenly everybody knows that Rangers are after him. They want to sign him. They have to hold their nerve. I think they will have their wage structure. They will have what they're prepared to pay if Joey Barton comes back looking for more money. Rangers can't get sucked into price wars just because stuff is out in the open now. It's out in the public domain. And I think that's why the club would prefer to do all its business quietly, and why Keith and I and others find it really difficult to find out for sure what's always going on all the time. But I do think the Rangers board have to hold their nerve. Yeah, they've got to sign players. Yeah, they've got to bring the people to the club that Mark Warburton wants. But at the same time, they've got to do it in a sustainable, sensible way. The club has suffered before. They've got to make sure they don't do that again.
Yeah, I asked on Twitter if Joey Barton would be a good signing for Rangers. Alan Gibson on Twitter says if he gets a Scott Brown, Liam Craig cloak of invisibility, that means refs never see his fouls. That's according to Alan Gibson. We've got another caller on the line. Next up is Alistair from Grangewood. Thanks for calling in, Alistair. You want to redress the balance somewhat in terms of the refereeing decisions in the playoff matches against Hibs?
That's correct. If you remember in the first leg at Easter Road, John Baird was shooting goal scoring opportunity, and was brought down on the edge of the box. Could have been a penalty, could have been a direct free kick. It was proved on the BT Sports, replay it as a foul. So Hibs should have had a man sent off there, but we're not complaining. We've carried on with the game, and that could have changed the course of that full match. But because of a handball incident, everybody seems to forget about that one. Move on. It was a great game over 2 legs. I must say, I'm a Falkirk supporter, and you couldn't split the 2 teams, and the way it finished, just brilliant. Falkirk erupted, and I've never seen it like it in my life. So I just wonder what the panel thinks about the original decision that Falkirk didn't get.
No, listen, I can remember the instant you're talking about, and I'm not sure it was a red card or the last man, but
it wasn't the last man. Scott, there's no difference between that and...
Has to be a goal scoring opportunity. Has to be a clear goal scoring opportunity, doesn't it?
Clear goal scoring opportunity. It was the last man there. There was nobody else. There was one defender and him brought down.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. But what I'm saying is, all credit to Falkirk over the 2 legs. I'm not saying that because Hibs never got the decisions that they didn't get through. That's nonsense. That's not what I'm talking about.
From some of the callers, the referees over the both legs.
You'll get that. I think that decent, people that understand the game and watch the game, will see that. Listen, there's no doubt about it, and even the most ardent Falkirk fan would admit that Hibs were the better team over the 2 legs, but they didn't defend properly. Falkirk did, and they took their chances. Falkirk.
I would say maybe Hibs have the better players, but better team. That's
no, you're right.
That's
absolutely,
a good point, Alistair.
absolutely. Hibs have got better players.
The probably were hanging on, but once they put the subs on, I think the game started to turn just a wee bit. And the last 15-20 minutes it could have went either way, and it did. So.
No, absolutely. I think you're spot on. I think Hibs have got better players, but Falkirk have got a better team. There's no doubt about it. Falkirk have got a better team, and they work as a team, they play as a team. I've seen a lot of both clubs this season, and we've spoken about it many times. Falkirk will never ever beat, and that is a great trait to have as a football club. You're never beat, and who knows what will happen in the playoff games.
Let's go around the table, including Alistair. Your thoughts. Stephen Smith, a Kilmarnock fan, says, doubt we will stay up, hope I'm wrong, club is a mess, Johnson has ripped the heart right out of our club. There's no doubt your club are going into this playoff final on a high. Kilmarnock seem to be a club in crisis. Do you fancy your chances in this playoff final, Alistair?
It's going to be like the Hibs game. It's going to be close. I don't think there's going to be much in it, to be honest, but we're due a turn against Kilmarnock, so hopefully it goes their way.
Are you going to the game?
I've got my ticket for Thursday, yeah.
It seems to be a sell. I saw pictures sitting on Twitter of huge queues around the stadium.
The home game is sold out for the home end. I don't know if Kilmarnock sold out, but definitely the home game, there's no tickets left.
Well, thanks very much. For those that can't go, you can tune in to Sportsound live coverage from the Falkirk Stadium on Thursday evening. We kick off at 6:30. How do you guys see this going in this playoff final? Is it a close one to call, or is all the momentum with Falkirk? They're clear favourites.
Well, obviously it's going to be close, but I think you look at the way that Falkirk played against Hibs and Rangers this season, two teams with far greater resources, players, and many of which we would consider top flight players. They'll not be overawed. They've played against good sides. They've dealt with them this season. They're confident. They're well organised. They're strong. They believe in themselves. I think over the course of two games and the way momentum can shift in a match, they'll be strong enough. Falkirk will go through.
I think it's quite interesting. Usually you would want to be at home for the second game. I think the way that this one works for Falkirk might help them. I think that they're a really difficult side at their own place. I see them getting a good result, and then going down to Kilmarnock will be they'll be panicking by the time that
he's left you one word.
Falkirk to go through, no doubt about it.
That's it for tonight. Thanks to Richard, to Keith and Tam. Thanks to you all for your texts, your tweets and your calls tonight. Sportsound's back tomorrow night, usual time, 6:30. Good night. That's it. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, you can receive all the latest sports news in our daily bulletins on Radio Scotland and at our website, bbc.co.uk/sportscotland.
The Scottish Football Podcast from BBC Radio Scotland.